ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। सुमुखश्च एकदन्तश्च कपिलो गजकर्णकः लम्बोदरश्च विकटो विघ्नराजो विनायकः धूमकेतुर्गणाध्यक्षः फालचन्द्रो गजाननः वक्रतुण्डः शूर्पकर्णो हेरम्बः स्कन्दपूर्वजः शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। यस्य द्विरदवक्त्राभ्याः पारिषद्भ्याः परस्तथं विघ्नं निघ्नन्ति सततं विश्वक्सेनं तमाश्रये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय कृष्णाय अक्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदान्तवेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वभूतहिते रतं वेदाब्जभास्करं वन्दे समाधिनिलयं मुनिं जन्माद्यस्य यतः अन्वयात् इतरतश्च अर्थेषु अभिज्ञः तेने ब्रह्महृदायः आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत् सूरयः तेजोवारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र सर्गो मृषा ध्याम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मः प्रोचितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवम् अत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनं श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृदि अवरुध्यतेः अत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिः तत्क्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखात् अमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिकाः भुवि भावुकाः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्. Now with Bhagavan's grace we came up to slokam number 30 in Adhyayam 31, Skandam number 3. We will continue. The Kapila Upadesam is we are partaking that. Kapila's Upadesam to his mother Devahuti in answer to a couple of questions about creation, and Bhagavan explained that. We went through it very quickly, not with a fair amount of detail, but today I'm going through it very quickly. Then he also talked about why worry about creation, focus on the creator, focus on the Kshetrajna. Then that Bhagavan also taught us through Devahuti. He also taught each one of us who listened to him. Then the question comes, what happens if I don't listen to the teaching? If I don't do it, what happens? Then after I leave the body, what are the experiences I go through before I take birth again as a human body? Because that was also taught. Then when I take birth, finally, after many janmans, Jantunam Narajanma Durlabham, very difficult to get the body of a human being. Then I'm again be born in my mother's womb. Then Kapila Bhagavan explained in fair amount of detail what the fetus is going through every day, every month, what is happening. And finally, and the fetus's prayer to Bhagavan, Swami, right now I'm conscious of you, you're in me, outside me. I also see you in the form of Ahamkaram. But once I come out of my mother's womb into the materialistic world, I will forget you. Please, even though this womb, this place where I am right now is very, very difficult, lots of problems are there, sufferings are there, right? But I don't want to go. Please don't take me out. Then this is the prayer that each one of us did. Then we come out of mother's womb, we forget, we lost our consciousness, and then what type of a life that we lead, and that's what Bhagavan is teaching now. And then we'll take up 31. Today, continuing that, what type of a life do I really lead after having taken the birth of a human being When I was in the mother's womb, I offered my gratitude, not only my prayer and worship, my sincere gratitude to Bhagavan. Swami, you have given me buddhi, you have given me consciousness. There are so many jivas that take so many other types of bodies, but they don't. All they do is they live on the basis of instinct and body pains and sufferings. But now I have the buddhi, whereby using that, if I place my mind at your lotus feet, I can release myself from the cycle of birth and death. That is the prayer I did, but I forgot it. The moment I take birth, I forget. So I lead a different type of life, which is what Bhagavan is describing now. 31 and 32, with Swami's grace, I hope we can take today with the corresponding. Once I cover 31 and 32, the question will automatically come into your mind, oh my God, what should I do? What should I do? Right? For that, we will take up some slokams from Bhagavad Gita and then continue with 33 at the appropriate time, whenever that is over. 31. Tadartam kurute karma yat baddha yati samsrutim yaha anuyati dadat klesam avidya karma bandhanaha. Tadartam kurute karma yat baddha yati samsrutim yaha anuyati dadat klesam avidya karma bandhanaha. Tadartam kurute karma yat baddha yati samsrutim yaha anuyati dadat klesam avidya karma bandhanaha. Now, the Jivan in me has taken several bodies. Now finally this human body. But for the sake of this body, what do? I do so many things, right? And it is giving me only constant trouble, both in life, in death, as well as in birth. We saw that. And this is a source of so much trouble. It continues to follow me because out of ignorance, I engage in useless activities. Okay? The big subject me to the karma bandhanam, the cycle of birth and death. With overall meaning, the body is itself the cause of misery, yet to support it, men perform still more actions and thus compound their involvement in the cycle of birth and death. Pada Arthangal, number 31, Slokam 31. Avidya karma bandhana. Avidya. Avidya means ignorance. What is my ignorance? That I am this body, I am this person, right? With ahamkaram and manankaram, and bound in this, thinking myself, feeling myself to be separate from Bhagavan, separate from my own self, and it is separate from self-plus love, right? That is what I am, but I separate myself from it. That is my avidya. And avidya karma bandhana, being bound by the various activities I do without selfless love, without love, but on a selfish manner, to put it in a simple way. Selfishness and self-aggrandizement are the two major obstacles, the enemies. So I do my activities not in a selfless way, not in a parasparam, like the way the sun is shining, absolutely selflessly, right? But I don't do like that. So I get bound by my own action. Again, remember, action means thought, words, as well as body actions. All the three are included in karma. Avidya karma bandhanaha. Yaha, being bound by those actions, yaha, which body, because he's talking about body now, so yaha, which body, klesam, difficulties and trouble and misery, bhadate, gives. Which body gives difficulties and misery, being bound by actions done out of selfishness? Tat artham, for that body, tat artham, yet baddhaha, being bound by the various actions I have done, samsrutim yati, the samsara sagaram, cycle of birth and death, yati, I obtain. Okay? So, tadartam karma kurute, for that body which actually binds me, for that body, karma kurute, I do all actions. I do so many things to maintain the body, to take care of it, even though I know it is temporary. It's amazing. And the children born to me, my God, immediately I become so possessive. All the mothers know that, right? If anybody is given even a whiff of criticism against somebody's child, the mother will immediately go to bat, isn't it? Not with somebody else's child, only with that person's child. This is selfishness. So, all because associated with the body. All of a sudden I live, and one moment I get married to somebody I've not even met before, for example, and immediately that person becomes mine. That's all body relation. Everything is body relation. For that body to maintain, to protect, to nourish, and for the sake for that body, how do I live? I do actions only for the body. Tadartam karma kurute. And in that process, the same body gives me so much trouble because I'm going to die. The process of death is not easy. We saw that. The process of birth is not easy. We saw that also. And the process of living also, and do such foolish things. So all along misery, misery, suffering, suffering, suffering. I continue to do that for the sake of this body. Okay, that's the slokam number 31. Tadartam kurute karma yad baddhaha yati samsrutim yaha aniyati. Oh, I will give you the padavartam there. Okay, aniyati means follows. Okay, which body, for that body follows him. Okay, for which avidya karma baddhanaha, I do for that body out of ignorance. And that gives me only aniyati, dadate, klesam dadate, gives me only difficulty. And yaha, that body, aniyati, also follows me because I'm bound by my actions. So I take different bodies in different janmas. But for the sake of the body I'm living, it should not be. Okay? Tad artham kurute karma yat baddhaha yati samsrutim. Samsrutim yati means that gives me repeated birth and death. Okay. Yat baddhaha, bound by what? Bound by the avidya karma baddhanaha. Okay. And that is all to do with the body. Tat artham kurute karma. Only for the sake of that body I do my action. And yaha, that same body, aniyati, it follows me for each birth. I don't get any relief from it. That is slokam 31. 32. Yati asadbihi pati punaha sisna udara kruto dhyamaihi astitaha ramate jantuhu tamaha visati purvavate. Yati asadbihi pati punaha sisna udara kruto dhyamaihi astitaha ramate jantuhu tamaha visati purvavate. Yati asaddihi pati punaha krishna udara kruto dhyamaihi astitat ramate jantuhu tamaha visati purvavate. Welcome number 32. Overall meaning. Now, if I associate myself and follow the path of asat. Asat means evil companies, okay, companies that always result in bad things. And what type of company are these? The various, not only company, not only people, but the pathways that I do in my life, okay? And what type of, for example, only consisting of meeting the demands of the stomach, for example, and the demands of the reproductive organs. That is what I spend my life on, okay? And that is the pathway that results only in difficulties. By doing this, what have I done? I prepared myself for the life of hell once again when I leave the body to go through the experiences of the Naraka Lokam that Bhagavan described earlier. And that is because instead of focusing on Bhagavan, I focus on body pleasures, filling the stomach, responding to the call of the reproductive organs. This is what I'm focused on. I'm focused only on the body. That gives me tremendous difficulty when I leave the body. I have to go through the experiences of the various Naraka Lokas and also subsequently various other births that we saw. 32. Now, the interesting thing here is the word pati. Pati means pathway. So the pathway is the English word path that probably comes from the word pati. Now, patihi astitaha api. Pati astitaha api. We can understand it as even a person. The two ways we can understand. Both ways are okay. Whatever way it applies to me, it applies to me both ways. Okay, so you can apply to whichever way it applies to you. So the pathways astitaha api, being engaged in the way of life. Okay, that is one way. Another is, if I take pati to be in the righteous path, in the dharmic path, okay, always following, only wanting to do only beneficial things in the company of Bhagavan, etc., right? Pati. Now even pati apitaha, even if I'm living in that way, jantuhu jivan, in this case it is me, Krishna udara kritodhyamaihi. Krita Vidyamahi. Krita means to do. Vidyamahi, to take effort. To take effort to do what? Krishna. Krishna means reproductive organs. Udara means stomach. So, to fulfill the demands and the needs of the reproductive organ, those urges that comes from there, and the urge given by my stomach, okay, I take effort. Krita Vidyamahi. That's what I do. Even though I want to lead a good life, I want to do a spiritual life, let us say like Vishwamitra was, right? Or I live in a normal way following the evil pathway. Whichever way, okay, pati asitaha api, whichever way it is, if I do this, Krishna udaraha kritya krita vidyamahi, if I do that, asadbihi ramate yati. Asadbihi. Asat means something that is evil. Got different meanings there. But asat means it is like satsangam, we say. It's asat sangam. Okay, exactly the opposite of it. Okay. And asat bihi ramate yati. For these evil-minded people, ramate yati means in their company taking pleasure, enjoying the company of evil tendencies, evil habits, evil people. All these follow into it, because it's not only other human beings. How I'm thinking in my mind, that is very important. If my thoughts are asat, if the thoughts are evil, the thoughts are cruel, and if I'm enjoying the company of those thoughts, the same thing applies. Okay, asat bihi ramate yati. In spite of the pathway I've taken in life, okay, and if I focus only on fulfilling my stomach and the demands of the reproductive organs, and I keep the company of evil companies, ramate yati. If I do that, purvavat punaha, purvavat, like before, punaha, again, tamaha visati, attain narakam, the hell. When I leave the body, I go through these experiences to be born again. So the company is very important, and the objective of my actions are very important. I should not do only to upkeep the body. I should not live. Even animals do. Animals eat and reproduce and sleep, pass time. Then what's the difference between animals and me? Bhagavan has given buddhi. So I promise Bhagavan, Swami, I will use my buddhi that you have given me and direct my mind towards your lotus feet, and I will release myself from the cycle of birth and death. That's the promise I've given to Bhagavan before I came out of the mother's womb. Not once did I give. For 4 months. In the 10th month, I was given the promise before I was born, before I came out. So now I've forgotten that. Live only for the body pleasures, eat and sleep like an animal. But then, like earlier, I have got to attain tamaha visati, attain naraka lokam when I leave the body. That is lokam 32. So this is what Kapila Bhagavan says. So you're born, this is how you're born, and you come and this is how you live. If you do this, then you go back that way. Then subsequently he's going to tell us how to live. You see, the question is, no, this is the problem. So what is the solution, Swami? What should I do? What should I do? I know I'm doing all this, they're all wrong. Right? What should I do? That solution Bhagavan takes up from 33 onwards. And 33, it actually says there is a do and a don't. In spiritual things, a company you should keep and a company you should not keep. So Bhagavan is going to continue to not only identify the problem, now he tells us what not to do so that the problem doesn't come. That is coming from 33 and 33 onwards, that we will take up in a short while. Now let's go to Bhagavad Gita Slokam number 247. So the very first thing, if you take 247, let me read that Slokam for you. It's a very important Slokam. It has been my guiding light in all my life for the past, almost 55 years. So, Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetur bhuhu ma te sangotva karmani. What Bhagavan says, if you, now Slokam 31 in Bhagavatam we just covered, Tad artham kurute karma, or what I do for the sake of the body. It says that. Now, the solution to that is the very first solution. Okay, the number of them I'm going to share with you. Each one is a layer. Okay, an aspect that if we can reflect and do smaranam on this, the message will become very clear, and it is very easy to implement, not difficult at all. Okay. Karman eva adhikaraste. Your adhikaram, your right is only to do work. Because we are all working machines. Machines of what? That's all we are. None of us can, even for a second, kshanam, we can be absent from work. It's not possible. Okay? So we are all working machines. Karman eva adhikaraste. Work is given to you. Yes, that is your right. But ma phaleshu kadachana. Don't desire the result. So don't do something for the sake of the body. Do the work for the sake of the work itself. That's all. Then, I start doing work, ma karma phala hetur bhuhu. Very briefly I'm saying that, okay? And detail you can refer to the recordings. Other recordings we have. Ma karma phala hetur bhuhu means, do not start an action desiring a result. This is so simple and so fundamental that this has not been taught to us properly. When you do a piece of work, you do that work only, not the result, not desire the result. Don't start a piece of work desiring the result. Now also, ma te sangostu akarmani. Don't be attached to inaction. Don't be lazy. Don't be inactive. Do your action, that's your right. Don't desire the result. Don't be bothered. Don't be concerned with the result. Ma phaleshu kadachana. Bhagavan will give you the result. It's the way come. Okay, Bhagavan knows, Phaladata knows. So don't worry about the result. You just focus only on the work given to you. Now, why the work is given to you is to refine your mind. That's the only reason we all do work. Okay, that we'll see in a minute. Then don't start a piece of work desiring a result. Ma karma phala hetur bhuhu. So question comes, Swami, I cook in the morning, I have to make breakfast so that we all can eat. Yes, don't worry about that. You focus on preparing the breakfast as worship to Bhagavan. That's all. Now, if the item you're making gets burnt or has less salt, more salt, or come out perfectly, that's all immaterial, irrelevant. Okay, the result will be given by Bhagavan. So This is a very important way of doing work, decoupling oneself from the doership, feeling of doership. Okay? Then don't be inactive also. Those are the 1 do and 3 don'ts. Very first sloka, very important sloka to understand and practice. Now let's go to slokam 310 in Bhagavad Gita, right? Okay. So if I do work is my right, Bhagavan has given me work. The question is not what I do at any time. Any time, whatever work you do, the what is irrelevant, immaterial. What is important is how I do it. How I do it is the most important, the fundamental element of any piece of work, any type of work. Okay? Please understand it. I'm telling you seriously, right from eating to going to the toilet, to sleeping, to playing with kids, to driving car, to go and worship, it doesn't really matter. These are all irrelevant. The what is irrelevant, what is important is the how. The how is number 10. Slokam number 10 in Adhyayam 3 Bhagavad Gita. Saha yajnaha prajaha srishtva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadvam yesha vostu ishta kama dhuk yesha vaha astu ishta kama dhuk. Let me read the slokam properly. It's another extremely important. All slokams are very important in Bhagavad Gita, but through one slokam or another, somewhere along the line, Bhagavan opens a gate for you for clarity. Okay, this is a very important slokam. Again, something very extremely close to my heart. Saha yajnaha prajaha srishtva puro vacha prajapatihi. That means Bhagavan, when at the time of creation, what is this? When he gave me my human body. This applies to human beings only. All the other jantukal, they all do their work. There's no problem. Okay? It's only we are the only problem. So it applies to human beings only. So when he gave me the human body, when I was conceived in my mother's womb, we all saw that earlier, at that time, saha yajnaha prajaha srishtva. Along with my praja, along with my human being body that he gave me, along with that yajna srishtva, the spirit of sacrifice, is inseparable from my creation. It is like two sides of the same coin. What does it mean? Any action that I do and every action I do is only sacrifice. It is not action. It is not action. It is only sacrifice. And this I must first of all understand. And if I do every piece of action in the spirit of sacrifice, because that's what it really is, then all the devas, all the angels, Bhagavan, every Ishtakama Dukha, like we say, Kamadenu Vriksham, Kalpaka Vriksham, so many things we say. That is what life is, nothing but that. It is not somewhere in heaven. The creation, this whole universe is Kalpaka Vriksham, is Kamadenu only. If I do my work properly, the right way, with sacrifice and selflessness, not with selfishness, I must sacrifice my selfishness. Then whatever I want, ishta kama dhukku, whatever I desire will happen. Okay? Anena prasavishyadvam, established in the spirit of sacrifice. Vaha, may you all, Bhagavan is blessing at the time of creation, may you all achieve all your desires, established in this spirit of sacrifice. Anena prasavishyadvam, very important. Anena, with this is the tool that has been given. Prasavishyadvam, may you grow, may nourish yourself, may you grow and grow and grow in this spirit of sacrifice. Then, ishtakamaduka astu, all whatever you desire, will be given. The thing is, at that point, there will be no desire. The only desire will be for Bhagavan's lotus feet, because the mind will become pure and pure and pure. The more pure it becomes, the less desires you will have. So whatever all desires fulfill means what? It can never be fulfilled in creation. Only in Bhagavan's lotus feet it can be fulfilled. So all the desires will become only one desire, to keep the company of Bhagavan for all the time, for always. And then slowly the process of surrender begins to Bhagavan's will. Truly speaking, the process of surrender begins at that time. So the first one is karmanyeva adhikaraste. So I must do my work, not be concerned with the result, not start a piece of action desiring a result, and should not be inactive. I should always be agile and active. At the same time, how I should do my work? With a spirit of sacrifice, sacrificing my selfishness and self-aggrandizement. This is what the meaning of the two slokams in a very simple, very brief manner. And we will take a few more slokams there from Bhagavad Gita, and that will clarify how can I take an action, not desire for the result and all that, right? How is it possible? If I'm studying hard, I've got to get an A+ on that. What is wrong in that? All those things will come. So all those things we will take a few more slokams and cover that before we go into the next slokam in Bhagavatam. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.